everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday mindset. My name is Marti Ann, and I am your life coach. I'm going to get used to saying that. I am your life coach. Today's Monday mindset, I'm going to be talking about limiting beliefs. And the reason why I'm talking about limiting beliefs today is because the first time I heard about limiting beliefs, it was totally in the wrong context. I didn't like it. It was brought to me in a context of, as a chronic worrier, somebody was using it as a way of challenging me about my pain. And it rubbed wrong. It was as a new message towards me. I never heard limiting belief before. And so not understanding what it meant, I didn't understand them. All I understood was that they were challenging that I was saying what my pain was preventing me from being able to do. And yeah, that rubbed me wrong. And it rubbed me wrong on the concept, and it rubbed me wrong against that person. And I want to know how you feel about it. Have you encountered that before? Have you encountered somebody who has rubbed you wrong with a limiting belief, with them challenging what you say your pain prevents you from doing? And I'm saying that because, like I just said, been there, done that. I also know I challenge people all the time. I challenge you on your mindset. And I know I challenge other people constantly about the concept of good, better, best. I always try to make it gentle, about making it feasible. If you can't walk around the block, what if you walk to your mailbox? I come from a place of knowing. I come from a place of empathy because I am a chronic worrier. But that being said, once I healed, I looked into what limiting belief means, and the person was using it wrong. They, first of all, didn't understand CRPS. They didn't understand what it meant to be a chronic worrier. And so they didn't understand. So they didn't understand really. They were treating me like I was somebody using my pain as an excuse. So they were using it wrong. So what is a limiting belief? Let's get down to it. Limiting belief, if we separate the words, it's simple. It's actually very simple. And this is why I now embrace this. It is a belief, not a fact. CRPS is a fact. Your chronic pain is a fact. There are facts like brain fog. It's a fact. Brain fog happens. It's a fact. It's not a belief. But there are beliefs about the limits of your brain fog. There are beliefs about the limits about your physical ability because of your pain. Limiting belief. What you experience as a chronic worrier, there are facts facts, but there are beliefs about what you are able to do that limit you, limiting beliefs. And all right, out of the context, let's take it out of being a chronic warrior. Let's take the chronic warrior out of the equation, because not everybody is a chronic warrior. You might have something else. And let's say you are Miss Nancy Smith and you're a school teacher. You teach, I'm going to make this up. You teach kindergarten. Hard job. Kindergarten is hard. You are running around teaching a lot of little kids, but you're also dealing with a lot of adults, crazy adults who you are literally caretaking of their most prized possessions, and they have opinions about their most prized possessions. And you're managing those little people, and yet you have your own life, and you're trying to maintain a certain core academic standard, and you have your home life you're trying to manage, and you have all of these things, right? And you're sitting there going, I can't do it all. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to drink my water. I don't have time to read. I don't have time. I think that is such a huge complaint. It's so relatable. I think I love my children, and because of them, I've known a lot of teachers. And I'm also fortunate where in my family, I have a lot of teachers in my family. I know a lot of teachers. I'm related to a lot of teachers. And that is a huge complaint. They don't have time for themselves. They don't have time to drink their water. They don't have time to exercise. They don't have time to read. They feel like they don't have time for their own family. They're ragged with their work life, and they're ragged with the stress of dealing with the parents, and they love what they do, and it's driving them crazy at the same time. And they have no time for themselves. What is their limiting belief? That they have no time for themselves. But the truth is, they have all the time for themselves. They do. They're living their life. They are living their dream. They're just disorganized with it. And they need somebody to help them realign. And that's what a life coach can help you do. That's where a life coach comes in. A life coach will help you readjust, reprioritize, figure out your specifics. Let me brainstorm another one. Okay, so before I was sick, before I got CRPS, I was 17. I was a teenager. I know, it was a lifetime ago, 29 years. And I was 17, entering my junior year, and I had the world ahead of me. I had big dreams, and I was a lousy student. I also believed I was a lousy student because, well, I didn't do homework, really. I didn't study. I had bad study habits. I didn't really do homework. I focused so much on my social life. And I thought that's what I was about. And by the time I was 16, 17 was when I was like waking up about what it meant for to become an adult and why school was important. And it was kind of I felt like it was too late. That's where a life coach helps. A life coach helps you break through those limiting beliefs. If I could have told my younger self, if I didn't get sick, that, guess what? I could have fixed it. There were other options. I was smart. I was. Yeah, I never applied myself, but I was still smart. I should have been a singer. I should have applied myself into singing. That really would have been my path. I was intelligent. I just never applied myself. I should have applied myself into music. But those are the areas a life coach helps you. And that's why sometimes it's hard to do these because it's very broad and a life coach can't get into the nitty-gritty because it has to be personalized. But these are where the life coach does get in and says, okay, this is where, let's help you here and help you there and help you there. But these are the limiting beliefs. And whereas when I first heard limiting belief, it was so wrong because it was not a belief. It was a fact. Brain fog is a fact. My pain and what it prevents me from doing is a fact. Even though I know I have ways to work around my pain and I do what I can do, I break through those limiting beliefs around my pain. There's still the fact that no matter what, I live with pain. And that's why you need a coach that understands and respects the facts, sometimes the limiting facts, instead of just limiting beliefs. And all of this is to say that it's a growth mindset. You can have a limiting fact as long as you're on a growth mindset. Does that make sense? Do you need more examples? Okay, so how about this silly one? See my plants behind me? Many years ago, I had a plant that kept dying on me. Everybody told me I did not have a green thumb. Everybody told me, no, Marti Ann just does not have a green thumb. She keeps killing plants. Evidently, it was a limiting belief. It was other people's opinions. And it was a bad opinion because it was a limited knowledge opinion. My cat was peeing in the plant. It wasn't even something I was doing. I had a cat that we've discovered was climbing in. It was one of those big plants. My cat was climbing in and peeing in it. It killed the plant. It was killing the plant. That's nothing I was doing. My cat was killing the plant. Limiting beliefs based on other people's opinions created a belief system in me, and it was within me to decide if I was going to let it or if I was going to still break through and determine if I wanted to be somebody who could grow plants. Mind you, though, I have tried knitting. Yeah, what is it? The one with the different hooks, like the 2 hooks, well, there's also the one with the 1 hook. I've tried both crocheting and knitting. I've tried. Guess what? It's not a limiting belief. I can't do it. I've tried. I can't do it. 1, it does hurt my back. 2, I'm not coordinated. 3, way back when my grandmother tried teaching me how to sew, and she tried, and she's great. She was a great teacher. My grandmother was a great teacher. And my goodness, she tried, and she did have patience. She taught my sister. She taught my best friend. And she was watching me. And she was like, Marti Ann, move over. You just move over. I'm doing it. No. She was like, no, some people just can't learn it. Some people just, no. There are some things we just can't do, and that's okay. That's not a limiting belief. My boys wish I could sew. So I very badly do stitch and sew for them, and they love it. It's bad, but they love it because, boys and their mamas. Lucas wanted a shark. It looks like a whale, and he loves it. I mean, I swear he's probably going to pass that on to his kids one day. We call it the shark whale or the whale shark, something like that. With the whale shark, that's what we call it. The whale shark. He loves it. It's going to be passed on to his kids one day. And it'll be a great big storytelling thing. And it's filled with so much love. It doesn't mean I gave up. I didn't stop trying. I know my limitations. I do it with positivity. I know my limitations. And so what are some other ones? Oh, cooking. I know cooking is a big one, right? A lot of people with cooking. Oh my goodness, cooking is very polar. There are some people who are like, I can't cook. I can, because I can cook. They're like, well, Marti Ann can cook. And they're like, they tell me all the time, they're like, I can't cook, but Marti Ann can cook. And I'm like, I believe they can cook. Singing is a skill. Singing is a muscle. I think most people can sing, even if they think they can't. You can sing. Doesn't mean you have to sing good. It's like dancing. Honestly, I think singing is like dancing. You can sing and not sing well, but you can sing. I think cooking is the same way. But a lot of people don't enjoy cooking. Therefore, they think they can't cook. And I think it's about enjoyment. But it's only a limiting belief if it affects you. If you think you can't cook and it limits your ability to grow, oh my goodness, you're robbing yourself of something. You're robbing yourself of joy. If you sit there and want to be a cook and you're telling yourself you can't, and you want to be a good cook and you're not going after it because somebody once told you that your meatloaf was too salty. Want to hear a funny story? Beginning of my marriage, long time ago now, my in-laws were coming over for dinner, and I decided to make my dad's meatloaf. And You know how there's the salt container, the big one, not the like little like boom, boom, boom salt shaker, but like the actual salt, like 3-pound salt thingy, right? So I'm making the meatloaf, and my dad always puts like mozzarella cheese right in the middle. And so I'm making the meatloaf and I'm seasoning it up, and I'm doing good. I know I'm doing good. I've watched my dad do it, and my dad taught us hands-on in the kitchen. So I know how to make meatloaf, and I'm proud of myself. It's my husband and I, we were newly married. I had the baby. We were in our new house. Like, this is like big time grown-up stuff. And my in-laws are coming over, and this is like the first time they're coming over into our new house, and I have the baby, and I'm excited. I'm making dinner for them, and it's a family favorite meal for me. And my husband comes over, and he's like, "Just remember, my family loves salt." And I'm like, "I know, and I salted it. I know, they love salt, and I salted it." And he picks up that 3-pound salt thingy, and he pours the salt. And I mean, he pours the salt onto the meatloaf. And I'm like, okay, you know your family. Okay. Now, mind you, again, we're newly married. It's our beginning of our marriage, new baby, new house. I'm trying to still impress my in-laws. It's only like the second meal I've ever cooked for them. They're coming over for dinner. Just trying to make them happy. They're trying to like be nice. Everybody's just trying to be super nice. My father-in-law, who loves to eat seconds and thirds. He could barely eat what's on his plate, and nobody wanted seconds. And it was so salty. It was so bad. But my husband did not tell them it was him. For years, they believed it was me. I mean, for years. And we tried. When my mother-in-law brought it, later, like years later, we were telling them, we brought it up because, later she was like, "Oh, Marti Ann can now cook. Marti Ann, now you can cook." And we talked about that story of the meatloaf and the saltiness, and we tried explaining how it was Leo and what he did, and we tried explaining, and they really thought he was just trying to cover for me, and they thought he was covering for me, and we're trying to be like, "No, he really did do this." And they were like, "Well, no, now she can cook." And it was a big joke, and it took years and years and years before they really believed, they really understood that, yeah, it was him. Like, "Leo, stay away. Let Marti Ann cook. Do not interfere. Do not go near the salt. Yes, they like salt, but no, nobody wants that much salt." Limiting beliefs, other people's opinions, you can't let them affect your knowing. Jamie Kern Lima's book, Worthy, so good. I mean, that's what it's about. Knowing your worth, knowing you're worthy. And that's why you need a life coach sometimes, because you need somebody to help you figure that out. You need somebody to help you work through those little nuances, because sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that reassurance. Sometimes we need somebody to help us really get down to the why, what broke through. Like, I knew better, and I knew what it was. I wanted them to like me. And even though I knew better than to add all that salt, and but it was his opinion, and he knows them better. And so I let it go. And then afterwards it was too salty and I got the bad rep. And so then telling the story was like still trying to get them to believe it was him, and they thought he was covering for me. And I didn't let it literally destroy my ability to cook. It didn't. I sat there and I still knew I could cook. And I just had to show it to them. I had to show them I could cook. So even though it became a funny story, where my mother-in-law, we joke that now Marti Ann can cook and she loves my food. It's a funny story. But imagine if I did let it get to me. And some people do. Some people, they let it get to them. They let that bad decision or that bad review, somebody else's opinion, tear into them and prevent them from going after what they know is right for them. It's such a shame. And it's so sad, but it's also so preventable. And the first step is reaching out for help. And sometimes it's also having a friend that says, you know what? You deserve better, and I know how to help you. So I know how to help you. And if you're reading this, if you're watching this, I know how to help you. So let's chat. And I am letting you know that if you call me from this, you get an introductory free chat. We'll do a one-on-one free introductory call to talk about what it is. What is your limiting belief? What is your growth mindset? What it is that you want to work on? And we'll take it from there. All right. So that's your Monday mindset. Bye.